So, today we're going to do a video that I did earlier and I didn't really like the outcome of it. I think the tone was too serious for my liking because it wasn't really that serious of a thing. I mean, I guess it could be seen as a serious topic, but it's just lighthearted. It's just fine. It's fun. This is not a coffee talk because this is not coffee. I guess I just like drinking beverages and talking to the camera. Today, I'm expanding upon a lyric from the artist Jeffrey Lewis. If you haven't heard of him before, I'm not surprised. He doesn't really have a big following. He's not very popular, but I think he's really awesome. The lyric is also the song title. Well, the song title is I Saw a Hippie Girl on 8th Avenue. The lyric is I saw a hippie girl on 8th Avenue. She barely looked at me for a second or two, and I realized that I no longer look much like a hippie. I'm actually glad that I'm reshooting this video because I only shot it like probably less than a month ago. I don't know, time doesn't exist. Beats me. My experience with it has evolved. I was just depressed. I'm not depressed as much this week, but it's because I'm not doing my homework, so I'm just like, everything's fine. You know the meme where the dog is surrounded by fire and it's like, this is fine. That's me. So I'm going to just take all of the lyrics in the song that made me think, look, I look like a bear. No, they didn't make me think I look like a bear. I'm going to take all the lyrics that made me go, interesting. I can vibe with that feeling. I can vibe with it. So I'm just going to read all those lyrics for you so that you can kind of get like what I'm referencing of this song and expanding upon. So I already said the first part. I saw a hippie girl on 8th Avenue. She barely looked at me for a second or two, and suddenly I realized I no longer look much like a hippie. And then later, but nowadays I guess I don't dress much like anything. I still travel light and my hair is still long. I still hate deodorant and I still sing songs, but over the years I've noticed I'm not dressing as colorfully and psychedelically as I used to. I was talking to my friend Eric just to see what he thunk. He said, Jeff, it's weird. I no longer look like a punk. I guess we don't need our clothes as an identity crutch. And we looked at each other and we didn't look like much. And we looked at the world like a movie theater, at all the hippies and the punks and the skinheads and the skaters. And someday or another, sooner or later, they'll come to the realization. What's important is whether you can carry on a human conversation. It's not what you wear on the outside, it's how you think and feel on the inside. Blech. This isn't an advertisement, I could do an advertisement. Pay me money. When I first made my video, I was feeling very lost and I guess disillusioned, but like, I don't know what I was disillusioned with. I just kind of felt poopy. I didn't feel very good mentally. I'm glad that only a few weeks later I'm feeling better, but also I know it's because I'm not doing homework, which is in part why I'm dropping out. So I was kind of disillusioned, and at that point I was sitting there dressing every day in a way that kind of made me just feel not myself, and I have been dressing in a way that made me feel not myself for a while. I had my emo phase in high school, but then I got better. Like, I was really depressed when I was in emo, but then I got better, and so I guess subconsciously I was like, I can't dress emo anymore. I'm happy now, because I was happy. Brief fleeting moment, I was happy for like a year. It's really depressing. I keep saying really depressing stuff. I'm fine. Like, I'm okay. I just also am depressed. Anyway, sorry. So I was happy, and so I was like, I can't dress emo anymore, and I started dressing like how I pictured an alternative punk rock Christian would dress, even though it really wasn't. It wasn't really me. I kind of stopped embracing like my punk rock emo side. Actually, I think that the most punk rock I've ever been was the months between when I was rock bottom depressed until I was better. Like, those 6 months, I think, were the most punk rock I ever dressed, and the most that I actually felt like, yeah, this is how I'm supposed to be. But then I got like less emo emotionally, And so I was like, oh, well, I'm over here and I'm an MCR fan, but I'm not depressed. And I had all these weird preconceived notions. And like, then just the following year, I was like, well, I want to be different, but I don't really know how to, I don't know. So I dressed in really frilly clothing, which was great and it was fun. And I did like that look, but I also wanted to be punk rock. But then at that point, I felt like I'd already made a name for myself at that school as being a hippie, and I don't know if that's accurate, but that's just kind of how I felt. And so I was like, I can't dress punk rock and emo. And I've always wanted to dress punk rock and emo, and I'm just like confused. And then last year, like, the entire thing sucked, and I had a job, so I felt like I can't dress punk rock and emo. Like, I don't know why this has been such an obstacle, but it has been. And so when I was recording the video the first time, I think that I was just like, all of this that I'm describing was coming up to a peak where I'm like, I don't look like an emo. And the thing that made me like really upset was actually like that entire day that before I shot that video, the reason I shot that video was because I was sitting there for the entire day just that lyric over and over in my head. I saw a hippie girl on 8th Avenue. She barely looked at me for a minute or two, second or two, I don't know. And suddenly I realized I no longer look much like a hippie. That was just playing over and over in my head. Like, the rest of the song wasn't even. It was just that line over and over and over again. And then I went shopping, and then I sat in the food court for a while, just reeling, just like decompressing and being like, because I was at the mall and I don't know. And then these really awesome looking people came out of Claire's, and I kind of looked at them and I was like, oh my gosh, look at them. They're so cool. They're just like very cool and alternative, and I was like, heck yeah. Like, I kind of looked at them and I was like, yeah. And like the lyric said, they barely looked at me for a second or two, and I realized I no longer looked much like an emo. And it was like such a sad moment for me. It sounds really weird that that was such a sad moment for me. I literally, after that, the very next store I went to was Hot Topic, and I walked in and I bought an MCR shirt. When I stopped being depressed, I gave my MCR shirt to my little cousin, and I don't know what happened to the other one. I was sitting there and I'm like, I need to be emo again. And I went back to my room and I literally, like, I don't even know. I did my makeup all. I wanted it to be unique. I felt so stuck. And so I put, like, makeup on my face and, like, lines and stuff. And it looked really cool, but I was like, is this me? I don't know. And so I was just in this really rough spot when I recorded the video earlier. And it really isn't a depressing subject. Now, at this point, I'm starting to embrace my punk rock again. But also, I'm realizing that it's for me to perceive how I should dress. Like, I can dress emo and punk rock. Like, you can only ever really see my upper half. I've got my princess tiara, which I guess could be seen as emo punk rock or not emo punk rock. I don't know. I'll leave that up for you to decide, I guess. And I got my punk rock vest, and I've got my cool skeleton Frank Iero gloves that are literally kids' gloves that I cut the fingers off of, and I'm just like, these two are probably the most punk rock articles of clothing that I own, and I'm obsessed with them. But also, that's not it. Like, I'm not just gonna, not that there's anything wrong with just dressing punk rock and emo, but like, I was like, no, you know what? Back in my other college, when I was dressing all floral and frilly and stuff, that wasn't wrong, it just wasn't right. So I find myself more often than not wearing floral and frilly pants. Like, my bell bottoms that I'm obsessed with are floral. Just because I'm not frilly super long skirt thing doesn't mean that I can't wear frilly super long skirts, because my expression of self is not to be confined like that. I don't need to, and I shouldn't confine myself to, I need to look like this, I need to look like that, even in my alternative setting. I could say a lot more about this. I really could. Maybe I'll just do an entire, I'm not going to do this, but do an entire YouTube series on this one song. Literally, I would. I'm such a dork about these things. I would. Wear what you want to wear. I, for a very long time, think that there was things that I wouldn't wear because, I mean, I already expressed to you, there was things where I felt like I wasn't supposed to wear it. When I went to a Christian university, for some reason I had this feeling that like I didn't want to dress boring or dress normal. Not that there's a boring way to dress, like dress the way that you feel inside, but I don't it's not that I was going to dress typical, I guess. Growing up, there was a band from the Christian university that played at my summer camp every year. And so I kind of had this idea in my head of like what the cool people at that college dressed like. So when I got there, I think I kind of wanted to like fit in. For the first time in my life, I wanted to fit in, which is a really weird way to say that. Like obviously I wanted to fit in, but I wanted my clothing to fit in, which is super weird for me. But I felt like there was just things that I couldn't wear and still portray the persona that I wanted to. I actually remember I had a friend who would wear an MCR shirt, My Chemical Romance shirt around, and I envied her because she could just wear an MCR shirt and not feel self-conscious about it. Maybe she felt self-conscious about it. I don't know. But I just saw her and I was like, oh, the days when I wore an MCR shirt with pride. And I, I stopped taking risks with my clothing, which is really sad to look back on. And maybe confusing for people who saw me at that university because you'd be like, what do you mean you didn't take risks? You stood out. You had your horse backpack and your skirts that could hide an entire small village under them because my skirts were just like ginormous. And like, I had a very distinctive look. However, it still wasn't me. I think it was a very small fraction of me, but it wasn't actually me. Actually, me is punk rock. I've always been punk rock. Punk rock! I'm like trying to shake my table. I don't know what that does to the audio. Punk rock! Sorry. I'm punk rock, and my soul is punk rock. I'm always angry. I'm not angry. I smile and I laugh all the time. But I have a fire in my soul of anger. Like a marshmallow. I'm just like, punk rock! I want to draw a punk rock marshmallow because that's me. Or a kitten, like, with a teeny squeaky little voice. I'm like, punk rock! I'll beat you up! That's me. Wear what you want to wear. But the way that you present is not chiefly important. I had somebody who told me that if I got dreadlocks, that I would only attract stoners. And it stressed me out. Not because there's anything wrong with being friends with stoners. I have a lot of stoner friends and stoner, not family members, but people who are like family, kind of like extended family, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with stoners, but I didn't want to have such a set in stone perception. Like, I didn't want to go to this school and only be friends with one group of people. So it kind of stressed me out, and I was kind of unconfident about my dreadlocks, and because of that, they all dreaded into one bunch, and I had to completely get rid of them. I didn't cut my hair. People always say, oh, if you get dreadlocks and you want to do it, you gotta cut your hair. I didn't do that, but no, so I just had all these like weird insecurities that I'm sad that I had those. And so what I want to tell you is if you want to do something and it's not going to hurt someone, do it. Like if you want to wear clown makeup, wear clown makeup. Just do what you want to do. It's your life. It's your body. Live your best life. Like just go out there. If you want a bunch of piercings, yeah, maybe people won't like hire you, and that's kind of stupid that they wouldn't hire you because that's just judging you on your outside. But like if you want something about your body, do it because it's no one's decision but yourself. Somebody had said that their partner didn't want them to get tattoos, but this person wanted tattoos because they always got tattoos and they loved tattoos, and like that was just a very big part of their personality. But then their partner was always telling them that their tattoos were ugly and like, I don't want you to get more tattoos because you're making your skin look this way and that way. That's crap. Like, if your partner, sorry, Like, I don't know why my computer decided to make a boom. But if your partner is going to treat you like that, that sucks. And they shouldn't do that. And that's a toxic behavior. Maybe you disagree with me. I'm sorry. Your partner shouldn't be controlling your body like that. If you want tattoos, if you want piercings, do it. Really, truly, it's your body, your choice, all those good things. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. You've heard every YouTuber on the planet say it. This is bamboo. No, that's not what it is. Push like, push subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to force you to like and subscribe my video. Like and subscribe my video, how dare you? Ah! Yeah, subscribe my video. That's how things work. And if you want to watch another video, go right ahead. I think I have the same personality in all my videos. Maybe I'm more depressed one day than another. Ew, do you hear my wrist? It's click-a-lackly, click-a-lackling. Thank you for watching. I will see you later. Bye.